Hello and welcome to Special People, Extraordinary Times. And today I'm here with Jacques Weisel, who is a special person who certainly lived through extraordinary times. Good morning, Jacques. How are you doing?
Terrific. How are you?
I'm
but
fine,
I always say
thanks.
I'll get better, though.
Yeah, you'll get better. Well, you're a lot better than you were when you were 7 years old.
Absolutely.
Tell me what happened when you were 7 years old.
When I was 7, May 10th, 1940, the Germans started to bomb Belgium.
Which is where you were born.
Where I was born, Brussels. May 14th, we escaped. We ended up at the railroad station that was being bombed. The nuns were very nice to us, gave us food so we'd escape, and we escaped to France by train. They kept bombing and strafing, and in France we had to go to a side track for a while because the troops were moving up north. That was more important. And then we ended up going past Paris, and then we kept down south to a little town called Villariès, where we stayed for a few weeks at a Polish farm. And from there we found out that the Nazis were closing off the borders and telling the French police and army to catch anybody they could. So we escaped again, and we ended up in Bayonne, France. Yeah, France. And at that time, my second so-called miracle happened. We got on board a big ship, 1,600 passengers. And just as it was ready to take off, the purser took me, my brother, and my parents off, said, "You've got to bring your own food. We have no food. It's a long trip. Where are we going?" So they took off, and we the next day we got on a barge, or not a barge, it's a very small boat that had tank turrets for the Free French in it. And we ended up south to Casablanca because they were sinking everything that was going north, from into the channel and all. Excuse me.
And that ship you were supposed to be on?
We saw the debris after 2 or 3 days out to sea. Yeah, that's
That was a miracle that
Yes.
you weren't on that ship.
exactly. Then we ended up in Casablanca, and there we had very little food. The Hayas did help as much as they possibly could. There wasn't too much there. And we lived there for 2.5 years until the Americans invaded.
You couldn't go to school?
Couldn't go to school. My mind was stultified, couldn't do anything. My father couldn't work. We just sat, wondering what's going to be next. And first we were in a detention camp, then they put us in an old theater, and each refugee had another room there. We were stuck, the 4 of us, in a room maybe 8 by 10, with 1 bed, 1 chair, and 4 people in it, And my mother got sick. She had 3 stomach operations. I got the crabs over there, all kinds of weird stuff. And of course the Arabs were very dirty there in those days. And every 5th or 4th one had an eye condition that you had to stay away from because it's very catching.
Contagious, for sure.
Contagious, exactly. And when the Americans invaded, it was a little bit better for us because they brought food, and my mother started cooking again, as she had done for the refugees. But now they were bringing food, the American soldiers, and it was like being at home for a while.
They came to North Africa. They came to Casablanca.
50,000 of them. General Patton invaded. And one day I went to the beach, which we were finally allowed to go to, and the French bully dragged me behind the dunes, and he sodomized me, and then to keep me quiet, he tried to drown me in the Atlantic Ocean. So I count that as one other miracle. I'm still afraid of water. 71 years later, still afraid of water, and I still need a little extra food on me because just in case.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You never know when it's going to happen again.
That's my excuse, just in case. The fact that I love food, etc., doesn't mean anything. I'm both a gourmet and a gourmand.
You also write books.
I've written 4, well, the 4th one is, yes, my autobiography. That's why we're sitting here today. I want people to know that even though I've gone through hell, literally, without being in the camps themselves, it was bad enough for a young kid, 3 cultures in 3 years.
3 different languages.
3 different languages and different cultures, exactly. You could still turn your life around and make a meaningful contribution to society. And that's what I'm doing now. The bottom line of my work is if Jacques can do it, I can do it. That's what I want to impart on them. So I'm an example of that.
And so you also were always writing.
Always writing, yeah.
So that is your life, that's tableau
my life
behind you. So I know who all of the other people in your tableau are. Well, what the heck did you have to do with Joe McCarthy?
Oh, he's a Michiganer. Well, you know that. He ruined a lot of careers in Hollywood and all.
Yes, he did.
I was in an air base in Limestone Air Force Base in Maine then, coldest part of America, and reading and writing, and I had 2 years of writing already done. I was going to try to publish when I got out of the service, which was legal. They didn't think so, obviously. They broke into my locker, looked through 200 books and a full set of Britannicas.
Which was your reference library?
My personal library. And they found a 40-page pamphlet, and they started waving it. Look, a Communist Manifesto. 40 pages out of 30,000 that I had in there. Okay, I didn't know then that an airman is not allowed to read it. This is required reading for officers, but I wasn't allowed to read it. Freedom of the press, I had no idea what they... So they kept me a while talking about that, took away my secret clearance, didn't give me my third stripe that I had earned, and when I got out, February 15, May 22nd, on my birthday, they sent it back to me. So I got rid of 2 years worth of writing. It gave me too much trouble, I figured, you know.
So you destroyed it?
Yeah. Who knew?
Maybe your best writing. How do you
No,
how do you
don't
know?
say it. No. Everything I write is, I use a lot of humor, because if I don't laugh at life, I may as well kill myself. I just think of what happened in my life, you know. So,
But the four of you survived.
4 of us survived. We came here. My father lost his entire family. He was in Brussels looking for a job, working there. That's why he got away from Czechoslovakia, where he was born. And he lost 8 brothers and sisters. He lost his father. His mother died in childbirth with the last child, I understand. No pictures exist because he didn't know he would need them. No pictures from that side of the family. It's like they never existed. And it's, I feel bad about that.
And they all died in the camps.
Yeah. Yep. All the Weisels.
Jacques, it was very nice meeting you and talking to you
Thank
for
you.
these few minutes.
Thank you.
I enjoyed them very much.
You can bring me back anytime you want.
And good luck to you on your new book. For OCTV, I'm Elaine Kugelman, and thank you so much for joining us today for this talk with Jacques Weisel on Special People, Extraordinary Times.